Hello everyone, it's your boy Lookada here, and today this will be a spoiler review of the Amazing Deal Circus finale, where we are going to be talking about what actually happened, how it ended, what was going on in this finale, and I'm going to explain and tell everything of what happened in the finale and how I feel about it. Now, if y'all haven't seen the finale, then don't watch this video, just go watch the episode. Or if you did watch the episode, then you can stay here and hear my opinion about the finale. So as y'all know, I really enjoyed and loved the finale. It was really emotional. I cried a lot in this movie, and there are a lot of things I want to say to get out in my chest. So let's get started. So we left off to the continuation of episode 8 when Kinger accidentally deleted King, and then Jax was getting a little furious because he's knowing that there's nothing we can do to the circus. They have nothing in the circus, no ringmaster, no ruler. And King remembered something that Scratch was going to make before he abstracted was the brain scanner. That was the fan theory that's been going around. The brain scanner was scanning the brains to know that if they were controlling the human minds when they entered the circus. It turns out that fan theory of the brain scanner is actually canon to this series, and to be honest, I enjoyed that and I liked it a lot. The brain scan thing was actually pretty interesting to know and kind of makes sense when he entered the circus. And to be honest though, there was another fan theory that's been going on and it actually canon in the movie. I don't want to talk about it. And so after that whole argument, Jax decided to walk away for no reason, and they would cut off to Kinger to the point that when King is deleted, you could do like anything you wanted to do. So Kinger just summoned a random object from his hands, and as you can know that the other characters can do the exact same thing of what Kinger does, summoning some random things from your mind and from your hands. So they decided to fix the entire circus, and Jax wanted to join in, but he just walked away like it's nothing. I was actually really interested of when they can summon random things from the hands and minds that whatever they wanted, now it can't delete it. It was actually pretty satisfying to see, honestly. But then we get to this scene, which I kind of wish it wasn't off screen, but I still cried. We cut to Zupal, Pomni, Ragatha seeing the abstracted beast, and it was confirmed that it was Jax who abstracted.
No! Oh, no!
They foreshadowed so many times between different episodes to knowing that Jax is gonna abstract. Why would you do this to my favorite character? That's the thing that got me crying a lot about this finale. My favorite character, Jax, is abstracted, and now with him being abstracted means that he's gone. And this is so heartbreaking and really sad. And yeah, sure, Jax wasn't the nicest person for the whole series, but that's literally the whole point of his personality. He's not meant to be nice. He's supposed to be the funny one, the prankster, and the mean one, because that's his personality. He's a funny one. And there was a promise of what Ragatha was supposed to have for Jax was not talk about his best friend Ribbit. But yet in episode 5, she did anyway, and that was kind of messed up, honestly. And so with now Jax being abstracted, the only thing that they could do is to take care of him, not even letting him destroy the whole circus. So Jax was in the hallway, and Pomni had a gun that she used in episode 6. She used it to destroy the lights to make the abstracted beast go into the darkness. Because as you know, in episode 3, darkness is the only thing that abstracted creatures can only be calm and chill. And so we had this similar scene that we had with Kinger seeing his wife abstracted. And so Pomni thinks that there is a way that Jax can be free from abstracted. So he hugged him, and then we get to see some different personalities of Jax from his character. We had that dark and threatening Jax when he was choking Pomni. We also had the one that he was on fully Looney Tunes like Bugs Bunny. And one where he just full on wear the freaking maid costume. I actually died of laughing seeing that because Jax in the maid costume is always funny to me. And then so after she saw them, she went into this room when all 3 Jaxes were there. Which means that all of those 3 Jaxes or his personality. But then there was this other Jax who was playing the piano, but then we found out the real Jax was stranded. What they're trying to tell us is that three personality Jax decided to lock him away to not knowing that there's the real Jax going on in his mind. So that the real Jax gave Pomni the key to the boarded door, and then she opened it, and then we got this whole flashback of Jax's life. We actually saw his real life flashback back in episode 7, where Jax was heavily breathing, knowing that he doesn't want to go back to his real world. We actually saw that he was running away and he was driving away. And then just like all the other humans, he puts on the headset, went to the circus, and then we got our first moments flashback of Ribbit and Kaufmo. I'm gonna be honest, it was so satisfying seeing some moments with Jax, Ribbit, and Kaufmo. I actually freaking love this scene because getting to know more about Ribbit and Kaufmo was so amazing. And seeing those three characters hang out, it was actually pretty heartwarming. But then we get to this next scene of when Jax and Ribbit were having a conversation in her room, and then Jax gave us a full explanation backstory about his trauma family. His dad left, his mom died, and then after all that, he was really lonely. And then after he tells us a full explanation, Jax didn't want anything else to know about it, so he kept it a secret to Ribbit, to knowing that Jax doesn't want to tell it to anyone, because that's not the real Jax. And then for the past days, he's been ignoring her, not even talking to her, not seeing her, or not even teaming up with her from different adventures. And then him ignoring Ribbit really hurt her feelings. So on the snowy adventure, they were arguing, which we actually kind of knew back in episode 7 in King's office when there were some different adventures that he kept. We actually heard parts of Jax and Ribbit arguing, but we never actually know what they were saying. But now we actually got the full argument of what they were trying to say. But then after the whole argument, we got into like a few days later, Ribbit was acting a little bit weird and strange. She wouldn't come out of her room, and Jax wanted to check up on her, but he didn't want to. And then we found out that after that, Ribbit abstracted, and then Jax was trying to pretend that everything's fine, everything is normal, no one is hurt, no one is abstracted or anything. He was pretending that everything is normal for him. But then we heard that Kaufmo said that he found a way to get out of the circus, but then Jax didn't believe him, so Kaufmo decided to went off, and then we haven't even heard anything from him. We just kind of knew that he was going to abstract. But then in the next flashback footage, it took place in the pilot of the very first episode when Pomni was there, and then we actually get to see what was Jax going on, like where was he going when he ran away, to knowing that Kaufmo abstracted. He was looking at the mirror, telling him that not to cry, not to feel sad or anything, because that's not what he is. And then for the rest of the flashback for the whole episode, you know what happens. You know what he says or what he does. You know what happens. We then get to Pomni seeing Jax all alone in the darkness with a street light next to him, and Jax was saying that he doesn't deserve to exist. He knows what he's done to the rest of the people. He's saying that he's a horrible person. So then Pomni tries to comfort Jax, and his final words really hurt me in my gut and my soul. Jax's final words is that he doesn't want to go. That literally gave me flashbacks of Avengers Infinity War, where Spider-Man turned to dust saying that he doesn't want to go, and that was really hurtful. And hearing that Jax did it as well, you can literally know what I meant over people's gonna cry into the theater seeing this a lot. Because I did, hearing that line, I cried so many times. Gooseworks, you made me emotional for this finale. How do you do this? And so from after that scene, the abstracted beast just hit the flashbang bombs that was in episode 6. And we thought that Jax was gone, but before we know, we had some emotional flashbacks of some moments from Jax from different episodes. And I actually feel so bad for Jax being abstracted. He never deserved this. Sure, he's rude to me, but he never deserved this. He never even deserved it from the beginning. Which now that leads to her friend saved Pomni, and they're going to take care of Jax from abstracted, from building a giant pillow fortress to know that the distracted beast can only stay calm in the darkness. And after that, we cut into the void with Kane, which turns out he was not dead. Turns out he was in the void, floating around this whole time, and that he was talking to himself, knowing about what he'd done, until he found his files about the people that were in the circus, and he remembered that Scratch was the first person that was in the circus. So what he did is that he removed some of his power that he used to have from the past episodes. And so after that, he went back to the circus to redeem himself and give them full answers and the truth. And we actually found out those human names for Pomni, Ragatha, Gangle, Zoopal, King, or Jax. For Pomni, it was Abigail. Ragatha, it was Susie. Gangle, it was Zoe. Zoopal, it was Riley. Kinger, it was Grant, and Jax, it was for Leroy, and they have both different kinds of jobs that were actually relatable to the characters. And so after we found out the truth, Kane lets them do whatever they want in the circus, and letting him stay in the circus to be a better person. To knowing that he'll let them do whatever they want, which we'll talk about that in a sec. And so they forgive him, and then they stay in the circus, and they were making the circus better. They were making them their new home now, which it was actually pretty nice and pretty heartwarming to see. Which now brings us to the ending, to the similar scene to the pilot in episode 1, but this time, Pomni was actually satisfied and loving the circus in here. And that is it for this finale, and I freaking love this finale. I love everything about it. Glitch Productions and Gooseworks did everything perfect in this finale. Was emotional, was great, I loved it, and I'm really sad that it's over, really. So yeah, that's all for the spoiler review for the finale of the Amazing Digital Circus. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!